Welcome everyone, and we're starting up our talk about social enterprises. And just a quick introduction into Sustainable Fashion Scotland as well. If you didn't know about us, we're a community-led non-profit venture in Scotland with the aim to connect the fashion community and accelerate a sustainable transformation. And we do this mostly through kind of events and a magazine and research. So this is part of our event series here in March. We're doing a spring gathering with lots of different in-person and online events, trying to make sure that people can discuss ideas and learnings, connect and grow their business and grow their confidence in what they're doing. So I'm just going to pass on to Jayne just now, and she has a presentation about social enterprises. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Are you okay with asking in the mid of the presentation or at the end?
No, absolutely, Lisa. I'm a big fan of just when a question pops into your head, please just ask it, because if you're anything like me, it can pop out of your head equally quickly. So yeah.
Great. So feel free to start, Jayne.
Okay, thanks very much, Lisa. Right, I am just going to share my screen. So is that okay? Can people see?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okie dokie. So hello, my name is Jayne Chappell. I'm the membership manager here at Social Enterprise Scotland. Thanks for inviting me to speak today. It's lovely to be at a spring gathering, and it was even looking a little bit like spring earlier, not so much right now. So I'm just here to give you, I guess, a whistle-stop tour of our wonderful world of social enterprise. And I think, as Lisa just said, you know, if you've got any questions, please just shout at any point, and I will try my best to answer them. So here we go. So I guess let's start at the start. A social enterprise is a business that trades like any other business, but it trades specifically to meet an environmental or an environmental purpose. It's like any other business. It aims to make us a profit, and it aims to make as much profit as possible. But the difference is what it does with the profit. So in a social enterprise, the profit is either reinvested back into the business or to a beneficiary community. A social enterprise's prime purpose is always its social or its environmental mission, or potentially both in some instances. It's distinct from the private sector in that it doesn't have that private element of profit at its heart. It's distinct from charities that don't particularly trade, and it's distinct from the public sector or those arm's length type organisations also. So the social enterprise community in Scotland in general, and as a Social Enterprise Scotland, we've adopted what is called the Voluntary Code of Practice for Social Enterprise. And it's a set of values and behaviours that have been developed over time by the social enterprises themselves in Scotland. And it's how they recognise each other. And the bullet points on the screen just now are the 5 principles to the Voluntary Code of Practice. I guess it's important to say that social enterprise is always evolving. So the social enterprise code, the voluntary code, is always evolving also, and it's in the process currently of being reviewed just to make sure that it's still fit for purpose. Okay, so as part of Scottish Government's commitment to social enterprise, we have a social enterprise census. It happens every 2 years. 2021 is the latest one and the 4th one in the series. I am not going to read all these stats out, but it's really just to give people, I guess, a flavour of the scale and the reach and the contribution of social enterprise to our country, to our economy. And I guess the thing that particularly struck me about the census this year was this idea that every social enterprise in Scotland, on average, benefits 434 people, which I think is quite astounding, really. I guess what the stats don't show is the diversity of the sector. Social enterprises are across Scotland. They're in every geography, they're in every industry sector. They are selling a wide range of consumer products and goods. They deliver high quality public services. They can be in healthcare, they can be in energy. It's from retail to recycling, employment to sport, and in some cases, employment and sport, housing and education. So we are everywhere. Why do we need social enterprises? I guess if we lived in a world where everyone had equal access to public services, if public services were tailored directly to individual needs, if that world where everybody who wanted to work could get a job and contribute to society, if that world protected our environment and made decisions based on the sustainability of our planet, where everyone received sufficient income, however that was received, to live comfortably, maybe we wouldn't need social enterprise. I guess we're quite biased given we're Social Enterprise Scotland, but we believe we need social enterprises because we need to do business differently. We need different priorities, and we need to put people, and that's all people and planet, first. And social enterprises do this. They make life better for people, for families, for communities in Scotland. They're often rooted in their community. They're often developed out of a need in that community or a gap in provision. They support and enable our most vulnerable citizens. They contribute to a well-being economy. They deliver local jobs, and they stand for fairness and justice. And because they reinvest their profits, they're in that kind of circular economy of delivering more social good. So it's that idea of being sustainable for people, for planet, but also for their own, for the business itself. So where does Social Enterprise Scotland fit in? We are the membership body for social enterprise in Scotland. The clue, I guess, is in the name. We support, we represent, we promote, and basically champion the social enterprise sector here. We're sometimes referred to as the gateway to the social enterprise sector here, and our aims are to support and strengthen our members, to create a thriving sector, to raise the profile of social enterprise. So we are increasing the understanding and awareness of the model and its contribution to a better Scotland. And we look to use our members' experience and their expertise to influence policy to create an environment where social enterprises flourish. So how do we do this? We've got a range of services and support that we deliver to support social enterprises wherever they're at in their development. We're a focal point for sharing emerging policy information and developments. We provide general advice to social enterprise. I guess a key part of our role is that horizon scanning, where we are constantly looking at opportunities for our members, whether that be to help their organisation grow, whether it be to develop a new product, whether it to be reach new markets, anything that kind of we think might benefit the social enterprise sector here. Another key role, I think, for us is around that networking and connecting social enterprises. So it's connecting with their peers or more broadly across sectors, sharing experience, sharing good practice, supporting learning, and basically encouraging any form of collaboration. Okay, and I suppose the good news is in Scotland, social enterprise is now better known, it's more established, it's a more respected part of our economy. And because it's a maturing sector, it comes with its own fairly well-established support infrastructure. We have a Scottish Government, well, we have a 10-year social enterprise strategy, which runs 2016 to 2026. That was co-produced between Scottish Government and the sector. And there are 3-year action plans that sit alongside that. And that is to support and encourage the development of the sector. We have a support infrastructure, or a support ecosystem even, that kind of aims to support social enterprises, whether they are individuals, whether they are organizations, whether they're new, whether they're existing, whether they're local, national, international. And I've kind of given a list here of some of the avenues of support that are available for social enterprises in Scotland, but it's not exhausted by any means. I guess whilst I'm here, I will do a shout out for the local social enterprise networks, or SENS, and third sector interfaces, TSIs, in Scotland. They provide that support, advice, information, connections at that local level. So SES is a national organisation. We take a national view of social enterprise. It's really important that we have that kind of local support as well for social enterprises to access, whether you're looking to set up, run, or grow your business. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. I hope it's provided a kind of helpful understanding of social enterprise, why they exist, and the support that's available for them. I will stop sharing, and we can, I guess, just have a chat.
Great. Thank you, Jayne. That has been very helpful.
Okay.
And
thanks,
I
Lisa.
quickly wanted to shout out as well, forgot to say at the start, we wanted to include a social enterprise kind of a talk here as well, because SFS is itself a social enterprise. We really support the type of business model it is, because we do think that it is, like Jayne said, supports the entire community, like in different sections, and it helps the wealth distribution as well. So yes. Thank you very much, Jayne.